So you see some of this stuff that's going on, and then you see what happened with Will and with Chris Rock.
Right.
What are your thoughts when you saw that? What was your initial reaction?
Right. I mean, I think what we saw was everybody retreated to their homes, and then we went online, and you can manipulate that online. We saw that with Twitter, but in a stand-up show, hey, just a crowd of people in the microphone. I mean, who's going to stop that? Words do have a lot of power. The words coming out of my mouth have a lot of power. That's what comedians realize. Like, I'm just speaking words. Well, words have a lot of power. So when you have just a basic thing of me talking to you, and you're not gonna censor this, you're not gonna censor that. So stand up becomes really powerful because I can talk to this crowd here, And I think when a comedian, we're just used to having that kind of power, and we're not used to being censored. Mm-hmm. Every comedian does not like that. We just that just grates on us, because that's our whole thing. We need to say our words,
right?
And so
that is your toolbox. Words that are coming out of your mouth.
Words that are coming out of your mouth, exactly. The ability to say whatever words I want to say. Mm-hmm. So when obviously as a comedian, to see somebody come up on stage is terrifying to me. I mean, I've had a bottle thrown at me out of the blue, but that was terrifying enough. But there's for every comedian that's ever had that, that's a frightening thing. Especially Will Smith, he's gigantic, coming at you like. I could see Chris's face. He's like, what's happening?
He didn't move. He just stood there almost face forward. Like, what is happening right now?
No, it's surreal. I mean, surreal situation. I mean, everybody's talking. What I did like is the guy on SNL said the other day, he's like, it feels like we've been talking about it for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Well, did you hear what Ricky?
Yeah.
So here's what Ricky Gervais said. I don't know if it was on The View a couple of days ago. What the timeline was, and he said the following. He said, "I would have." I'll just read the whole thing to you. So. He says, "I'll get out of the way. I have not. I've gotten out no Will Smith material. I trended when that happened, and I was not even here. What has it got to do with me? People were going what they have. Anyways, and then he finally says, well, nothing. As I would not have made a joke about his wife's hair. I would have made a joke about her boyfriend." Okay, is what she said. What Ricky said. So, and by the way, knowing Ricky, you think Ricky would have done that from stage? I actually believe he would have done it.
Sure,
I think he
Look at his Golden Globes acts for sure.
And by the way, here's what happened with a couple things. Will Smith's contract gets pulled from Academy Award slap, the Daily Caller story. Netflix and Sony have stepped away from their projects with Will Smith a week after he slapped Chris Rock at the Academy Awards. Upcoming projects that Smith expected to complete have now officially halted as a result of the now infamous slap. The Netflix film Fast and Loose and Sony's highly anticipated movie Bad Boys 4, have both been put on hold. I doubt any big studio or streamer is going to take a chance in signing Will Smith until Smith's brand recovers, until the process is underway, media analyst Jeff Box said. You think these are the right moves they're making?
I do, definitely. I don't think there's a punishment big enough for Will Smith right now. When I watch what he did, and it wasn't just spontaneous. And here's a couple other things. When he was screaming at him and F-bombing him, did you see the rage in his face? I mean, that was not some little throwaway line. Here's the other thing. Will Smith won the Academy Award, and then he had that whole speech about what he did, right? About how he's going to be the defender of, people that are abused. What if he hadn't slapped Chris Rock? Was he going to use the same speech? That thing seemed very, very polished, and it would have seemed a strange speech for someone that was playing Serena Williams' dad in a movie, right? So CAA had some big time meetings, I guess, over the past few days. What are they going to do? One of the founders, Brian Lord, wanted to get rid of him. One of the other founders who represents him personally, fought to keep him, and they didn't drop him like they did Harvey Weinstein and anybody else that kind of gets in trouble in Hollywood. So, the more I watch this, if you would think of one Hollywood star that would be least likely to do that, isn't that funny? It's Will Smith, or he's one of them. He just doesn't have that reputation, or at least he used to have a reputation as being that nice guy, that non-confrontational guy. Apparently we don't know him as well, but he deserves to suffer some sort of career fallout for this. Absolutely. I'm not down for everybody just getting canceled, but usually people are getting canceled for things that, they didn't have any ill will toward. They didn't do it intentionally. They just had an opinion or a belief. And people, just decide to cancel him. But to walk on stage and steal everybody else's night, which is what he did, and slap him? I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Crazy.
I mean, and then Chris Rock, he's just playing it so cool, isn't he? Whoever gets that first interview with Chris Rock, that is going to be
By the way,
unbelievable.
he already did his first stand-up, and he says, if you think I'm going to have any Will Smith material prepared, I have nothing prepared.
He's
for
still
you.
thinking about it.
No, he's going to sell it for $60 to $100 million to Netflix. That's
Well,
what
I
he's
got to
gonna
tell
do.
you, I respectfully disagree with our friend Tom Zentner here. This is just another example. Like, what did he really do? He slapped another grown man in the face.
Oh, give me a break.
I know that you slap a lot of men, Tom.
What did
I know
he
that's
really
your go-to
do
move.
at the Oscars?
I don't know.
Walk up
Well,
on stage and slap another man in front of millions of people?
All right, hear me out here, guy. Number one, before...
By the way, Tom, we miss you.
Yeah, we miss you.
But go ahead.
Good to be back.
Before this, monstrosity of slapping someone, did anyone give two shits about the Oscars? The Oscars should be thanking Will Smith, number one, and so should Chris Rock. Chris Rock's career, number one. I was a huge Chris Rock fan in the '90s, but he hasn't really done a lot.
Okay, time out.
recently.
You're wrong.
Tom, let me get to the.
Okay.
We'll get to you.
Okay.
You've already been offended by Will Smith, but this goes to a bigger thing, and it goes to the point of cancel culture. If we're gonna start canceling people because we don't like what they did, how far does this go down? They tried to cancel Rogan, okay? They've been trying to cancel Chappelle. We're talking about canceling comedians and canceling entertainers. They tried to cancel Bill Maher. People on the left start trying to cancel Bill Maher, even though he's been an advocate. The first thing that you said, Kevin, was, hey, we're going to talk politics. Well, I don't want to get canceled. Where the fuck are we at as a society?
Yeah.
That you have to
We're
actually
afraid.
worry about getting canceled for having opinions.
We're afraid.
That's sort of the beauty of PBD Podcast, what we're doing, Valuetainment, is unless you're saying things that are completely extreme, complete misinformation, complete hate speech, say what the hell you want to say and let the market determine what's right and what's wrong.
Yeah.
But it's usually the people that are trying to cancel people are fringe people who get all worked up in a frenzy and then try to cancel people. Shout out to
That's a good one.
Chris Farley right there.
That's a good one.
But even you, bro, you've been in Hollywood. I mean, you experienced this. Why is cancel culture so pervasive right now?
But Kevin, before you jump in
Powerful.
on that, weren't you starting by defending Will Smith? I mean, that's completely
No.
different than some trolls on Twitter.
I'm not defending Will Smith. What my whole thing is cancel culture here. If people don't want to go see Will Smith's movie, don't see his fucking movie. But don't say that Will Smith can't work anymore. I mean, what are we talking about here?
No, time out. He assaulted someone on stage.
I don't think anyone cares about that. I mean,
but you're equating some Twitter trolls with slapping a guy. That's two different things.
Chris Rock didn't press charges. It sounds like you want to press charges because you almost got slapped.
Not at all. I don't think I have like a 1 in a million opinion here.
Point is, I want to get your thoughts on cancel culture.
Well, yeah, I think cancel culture is this giant brush. I mean, we can be nuanced about this. I mean, I think it's like, well, yeah, Will Smith can never work again. All right, is there a nuanced approach to this? Can we? Maybe he shouldn't go to he's already canceled from the Academy, and he's already done his own. He's already thrown himself on the sword in that kind of thing. But what is the Oscars going to do now? I think the Oscars will probably, give him some kind of a punishment. I don't think that he's not going to get off without a punishment from them. But I think once all the punishment is dealt out to him, he'll probably work again. I would imagine. I suppose. And
we're talking about one of the greatest performers of all time, maybe not working again because he slapped someone.
Yeah, but time out. No one's saying that he shouldn't work again. I'm saying there should be some repercussions for walking on stage and slapping a man at the Academy Awards.
As a
right,
stand-up,
but he owns his own production
like,
company. He'll do whatever he wants.
As a stand-up, that's so egregious because it's something that we all fear as we're on stage. Somebody coming up either with a gun or something like that.
Well, that's
what happens is
that,
if you've ever been on stage, you're blinded by the lights.
Yep.
The audience is kind of this mob out in front of you, so you have this real visceral fear of like somebody coming out of the dark, and how dare you say that kind of thing. So as a stand-up, I hope that because I don't want this to like, oh, Will Smith got away with it, and I'm going to do it at Farley's show. I don't want that to happen. So I hope that something's deterrent there. Like, you can't come out of the stadium. You can't come out of the stands. You can't do that,
So one time, they're doing the red carpet walk, whatever it is. A guy comes and talks to, I don't know if you've seen this, comes and talks to Will Smith and tries to kiss Will, and Will slapped him in the face.
Yeah.
Nobody reacted to it. Well, listen, a guy tries to kiss you in the face. You don't like that? You slap him. Everybody says, okay, cool, no problem, we move on. You know, the part, like, think about it from this standpoint. Chris is a performer. You're a basketball player. If you're a basketball player and somebody walks into the floor and does anything to you, you're not a player. Meaning, Will is not the player in that situation. Will is part of the audience in that situation.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Like, let's just say President Obama goes to a game, or Trump goes to a game, or you go to a UFC fight. Yes, you're a powerful person, but if you step in the octagon and slap someone in the face, dude, you can't do that. That's basic protocol. The same way as Conor cannot step out, and when Khabib stepped out and started chasing other people and fighting guys, you can't do that. There's certain protocols that there's accountability. The question isn't that. The question is, okay, he's going to keep his, what do you call it? He's going to keep his Oscar. Fine. He resigned. He can't vote anymore, whatever what do you call it? Whatever things that he loses, right? Okay. So go and see other people who have been canceled, and then how long did we get over it? Our conversation last night on the drive to Miami was what? America's we forgive very quickly, except if you deal with kids and if you deal with certain things. So Kevin Spacey, is Kevin going to come back anytime soon and shoot a movie? You think he's going to do something and people are going to let that go? You know,
it hasn't happened yet, right?
Okay,
It's been a couple years.
I think he will be.
Do you think America's okay if Kevin did a movie and they'd watch him? Like House of Cards, next one comes out. Do you think people are going to watch it?
I do. I think fans of great acting
You
will.
think, but you think people are over that? You know, is it, you know, did he go to jail for it? Or are some people going to say, well, innocent until proven guilty? No one's, he's been accused, but he's not gone to court yet. So how long will it take? The real question is, how long before people forgive him to come back and perform?
I think it depends on how much talent you have a lot of times, too.
Will's got a lot of talent.
Yeah, he does.
And Kevin may be one of the best actors
without a doubt
that we have.
You know, how about Ron Artest, right? Isn't this kind of a similar situation where they're throwing beer at him and they go into the stands? He at least was punished for a little while. He couldn't play in the NBA. That's all I'm saying about Will Smith. We don't have to cancel him, but hopefully he can learn from this, and there's some sort of punishment that comes from this. By the way, why does Chris Rock decide if if charges are going to be pressed? Isn't that usually? I know this happens a lot, but you would think the police see a crime in their mind being committed, they just arrest somebody. It seems strange when you have to go to the victim and say, "Do you want to press charges?"
Also, yeah, I agree. I mean, it should be the cops probably do that. I mean, that's what happens in domestic batteries. I think that no matter if the wife sometimes says, no, don't touch him, I think the cops still arrest the guy. But I think that also this has to do with these sexual crimes. You know, like if you look at the three guys that are banned from the Oscars, Harvey Weinstein and Roman Polanski, and then who's the third guy? I don't know.
Well, there's a guy needs to Giffen, but he's not yet.
Right, but they're all sexual crimes.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
so. That's something to do with. I don't think we forgive the sexual stuff.
I don't think we do. No, I don't think Harvey's ever going to be forgiven. That's why I'm saying Kevin is in the middle of maybe never being forgiven. Some people would say never, but Will, what he did, you know. How long? 6 months? 12 months?
I think by the summer he'll be fine. By the way, speaking of sexual crimes, you see who's getting a lot of heat right now is Jim Carrey. You seen what happened with him?
On CBS? When he
he came out and he basically was like, if I was Chris Rock,
$200 million lawsuit.
I would file this ridiculous lawsuit and basically defending Chris Rock, defending comedy. And someone goes, oh, you know the beautiful thing about the internet, Jim Carrey? The shit doesn't go away. So fast forward or reverse to a clip of him after your brother passed away, arguably, Jim Carrey took the mantle of the most outlandish, over-the-top comedian. I mean, fair point? Mm-hmm. He wins the award. I think it was Comedian of the Year, whatever it was, MTV Award.
Yeah.
And the presenter of the award was none other than Clueless star Alicia Silverstone.
Oh, yeah.
Silverstein.
Yeah, Silverstein.
He wins the award, and please give it up for Jim Carrey. Comes on stage, grabs her, 2 hands in the face, boom, lays a huge kiss right on her face and holds, right?
Yeah.
Good 5-second kiss.
Right.
She's shocked.
Yeah.
The whole crowd is in an uproar. Keep in mind, he is the performer of performers of that time. This is probably 2000-ish. I don't know if you want to pull this up. But now basically, people are like, "Oh, Jim Carrey, you have an opinion? Well, let's research. Roll the clip. Boom."
I didn't know that.
And now he's kind of catching backlash.
Can't play.
So it's almost like
you can show
if
the
you
picture.
speak out and have an opinion, they're gonna
they're
gonna double back to something you
Wow.
did 20 years ago.
Sure.
And they're gonna try to cancel you now, Jim Carrey. So it's a very thin line that you have to balance now.
It is. Yeah, it is.
What does that tell you, though? What does that tell you?
It's
That
20
tells you, before you're going to judge, just kick back a little bit. And, if you've walked on water, go ahead and judge all you want.
Correct.
If you haven't, So, I think America's very forgiving. I think America moves on from certain things, this being one of them. It's just a matter of how long.
If you enjoyed this short clip, click over here to watch another short clip. And if you want to watch the entire episode, the entire podcast, click here.